Can you say a little bit more in terms of, I mean, again, we are talking about the frontier manifest destiny
Right,
and the
right,
frontier
right.
imagination. What was the Soviet, or the Soviet and before that Russian
Yeah,
imaginary?
that's a really good question. I think, yeah, people are often surprised to know that there's a very similar form of mythology operating in Russia, and that goes back as long to the 19th century, even, and a kind of a version of manifest destiny, which is it's a different. The details are different, but it's more mystical, more almost occult like, which is the notion of cosmism, which some of your listeners might have read about. This notion that the humans need to explore the vastness of outer space as a way to to find immortality, really, because we can live forever and so forth. And that's a kind of a simplified version of it, but the basic idea was that Russians in particular have this destiny to do this. And there's other aspects of it, but the commitment to outer space is deeply rooted in Russian culture. It's not something that just happened because of the Cold War. When Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin and all these things happened in the 50s and 60s, most Soviet citizens were perfectly, it seemed perfectly natural that they were the first. It's not like, oh, somebody else. So I think, and it still remains to this day, there's vibrant subcultures in Russia that dream about space, talk about space. Of course, their space program is kind of eviscerated and a shell of what it used to be, but the aspiration remains, which is interesting.